Alright, so we're back. So last session, you guys investigated the cause of the fungal growth in the byways, tracked it down to an old ruin in the forest, fought yourself a colossal mushroom monster, delved into a cavern system. You met the myconid shepherd
Shua.
and obsessed about his creatures. Yes, Showa. And you also met Rani Quelsemaria, the Cicalia High Priestess, who had been trapped there.
Yes.
You set up Shua to create an antidote and arranged with Miss Whitefeather to retrieve that once it was done. And now you find yourselves in the byways, completed with that task and ready to move on or go shopping or whatever it is you guys want to do.
Hell yeah.
We really haven't spent much of our resources since we left Alvara.
But we haven't really upgraded any of our gear.
Yeah.
That too.
And this is the byways, the center of commerce for all of Orana Isle.
I gotta get my staff looked at. I already fucked up the bottom of it trying to put that
Oh yeah,
pickaxe
you
in
did
there.
fuck that up last time.
So I gotta get that fixed, and then I also gotta find a guy who's willing to, like, put a pickaxe on the end of my staff.
And if I remember correctly, Allium wanted to make some arrowheads out of the obsidian that she picked up.
Yeah.
Right, well, it'll be easy enough to find a variety of smiths or weapon sellers, fletchers, all that stuff. They're all here. It's just what you want to do first.
We'll get those arrows. I wanna get those arrows made.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, we can do that. That
I've
sounds
got
good.
7. Well, I've got 7 palm-sized. So that can be broken down into probably 2 arrowheads each, maybe?
Didn't I specify they were palm-sized to you?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So
it would be arrowhead size.
So
one
like-
arrowhead apiece.
So yeah, they're tiny chips, basically.
Gotcha.
So yeah, you find a Fletcher who says he can do the work, and looking at the pieces you have, he says, I mean, it's volcanic glass. It really can't be, like, melted down and combined. But he says he could probably work something out to get you, like, 2 special arrowheads out of what you've got.
I mean, okay. 2 is better than none, and I'll have some extra pieces to do some other stuff with.
All right, well, he says it's going to cost you about 10 gold to get them done.
Let's see. Yeah, I can do 10 gold.
Oh, good.
All right. Well, if you give him the 10 gold and the chips, he tells you it'll take him a few hours to put it together, and then you can come back for it.
Perfect. Thank you. I greatly appreciate that. You also maybe work on an upgrade armor, or do you have someone that you recommend to do that?
He's just a Fletcher, so he doesn't work on armor.
Right. Okay. Do you have a armor?
So
that
if you
recommend?
if you check around the byways, you find a couple of merchants who sell armor. There is a leather worker who specializes in leather armor. There is a dwarven merchant who sells a variety of armor, and there is a blacksmith in town, but his specialty isn't really arms and armor. He's more of a general goods kind of guy.
Gotcha. I think I want to go to the first one, the one that works with specializing in leather.
Okay, well, like I said, he's a leather worker, and he seems to have... He has a few pieces ready-made, and he seems to have all the supplies he needs to make custom jobs. It just depends on what you're looking for.
I actually kind of want to look through his stuff and see what he's got and like what the prices are and stuff.
So he has regular leather armor. He has studded leather armor, and he has them in various sizes. Like, there's nothing special like on the rack really.
Okay.
Whoa! Did the music just get really loud for you guys?
Yeah,
It spiked for a second.
That was
Yeah.
weird.
very.
The bar was jamming out a bit too hard there.
Right? Yeah, he got excited. Calm down, Bart.
You said that there weren't. Wow. There wasn't any really like special pieces on any of the racks. Like nothing
No,
magical.
the pre-made stuff that he kind of has on. He has like a leather breastplate, a full suit of leather armor. He's got some studded leather stuff. He has leather shields, which aren't great, but they work.
Gotcha. I'll walk up to the desk, whatever table.
Yeah, it's just a guy he's like sitting there with. He's got one of those big, heavy leather worker needles and leather thread, for lack of a better term. I don't know what the technical term for it is. And he's kind of like working on a piece.
Excuse me.
Yeah, he'll kind of look up at you.
I was wondering if I could talk to you about upgrading my armor and how much that would cost me.
Depends on what you're looking for.
I think I'm just wanting to kind of up it a little bit. I'm not like super heavy on the funds. But I was wondering if you could turn my leather armor into a studded leather armor.
He kind of regards you in your petite flying form. And he tells you, yeah, I could upgrade it for you. Wouldn't take much, you're such a slight thing.
Ah, yes, I know, I'm tiny. Cook with a blade, though. Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. Well, it'll cost about 20 gold pieces.
Okay, I can do that, yeah.
It's also going to
how
take
long
a couple of days.
That's what I was about to ask. Yeah, no, that's fine. When you say a couple, are we talking like 3 or 4, or?
It's not a big piece. I'd say 2 days. I could put a rush on it for another 5 gold.
Yeah, let's go ahead and put a little bit of a rush on it. I don't know how long me and my friends are gonna.
All right. Well, 25 gold then, and you can come back for it tomorrow.
Sounds good. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I start taking it off and laying it.
He kind of nods and goes back to what he was doing.
I'll go and try and meet up with the group if they haven't been with me.
I assumed we were with.
Yeah. Hell's cute. Hell's half expected to pay for everything, so he just sort of went with you.
Tiala's kind of tagged along, just observing, getting to experience her people.
Yeah. I'm thinking about. Now you said that dwarven guy, he does like just armor, or does he just do like general like
General
weapons and armor?
stuff.
The dwarven merchant that you saw, he's selling armor. It doesn't look like he has the tools or materials to craft armor.
Okay, dang. Because I need to find somebody who can work with weapons.
It might be the blacksmith then, even though he doesn't specifically work with weapons, more general goods. He might be able to help with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can head over
Jahan.
there if you want to.
Yeah, let's go over there.
All right. You find a human male. He's probably somewhere in his 40s. He's all soot covered, banging away at a piece of metal as you walk up.
All right, Jahan just walks up to him and he like presents the staff and like the pickaxe head, and just says like, so I need to know if you would be able to fix my staff for me, and also put this pick head on the bottom of it.
So is your staff just like a regular quarterstaff?
It's like if you've seen like the little thing of his character. It's like a quarterstaff that's been like decorated near the end, like the top end, but it's basically just like a staff, yeah, a quarterstaff.
And it's made of wood, right?
Yeah, it's just made of wood.
So he stops pounding away at the piece of metal he's got, and he dunks it in a bucket. Steam hisses out, and he kind of turns and looks at you, and he goes, "You want to put a pickaxe on your staff?"
Yes, that's the plan. Yes.
He reaches out, and if you let him, he'll take the staff from you. I assume you let him?
Yeah, I let him.
Okay, he takes it, and he kind of gives it a shake, and both hands on either end, he kind of bends it, and then you see it, like, it bends under this guy's impressive grip. And he flips it upside down and kind of looks at the bottom where you've kind of ruined it.
Yeah.
And then he'll kind of shake his head and hand it back to you, goes, "That's not going to work. And if you want, I could make you a new staff with a pickaxe on it."
Would I still be able to use it like I use my normal staff for like my magic and stuff?
I don't know how that magic stuff works.
Well, I guess we'll find out. Yeah, I'm okay with that. How much would that cost?
Well, it's a custom job. It's not my usual line of work. Call it 25 gold.
Okay, that works.
I got a couple of jobs ahead of you, so it's going to take a day or two.
Fine by me.
All right, I'll get to work on it then. Any
All right.
requests?
No, not really. Just make sure it's balanced enough that I can actually swing it, I suppose.
I don't make cheap goods.
I'm sure you don't. And he just he hands him the money, the 25 gold, and the materials, and just thanks him again.
He kind of weighs the gold in his hand and nods.
All right. What else do we need to do?
I have no idea. Is there anywhere else any of you want to go?
How are we on health potions?
I think we're...
Since you guys
Let's
never
go.
use them, I would assume you're good.
I mean, you're not wrong. I just don't actually know how much we have.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm still good too.
Same.
I'm a walking heal bot, so.
Our second sorcerer is a cleric, so we're good.
Oh,
Pretty much.
oh man.
She majored in sorcery, but she has a minor in cleric, and whatever that would be.
No, she's a dual major.
Okay, there we go.
She's
yeah.
a dual major, sorcerer and cleric. Just do both at the same time.
She's an overachiever.
I wonder if I should get this stuff on my scales checked out.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah, probably do that.
right. But that would probably be the druidess, and she's probably just gonna tell us that we probably need to wait for that antidote that our friend is making.
I mean, I don't feel.
We should though check to see how long before you become full mushroom.
Yeah, we've kind of been ignoring that.
Yeah, let's go talk to her real quick about that.
Yeah, probably should do that.
She might have. She's been trying to help these people.
It's just.
No, I think that's a very good idea. Is to focus on that.
Is Hale like afraid of doctors or something?
No, he's just dumb and doesn't take things seriously. He's more concerned about clashing with the purple of his scales. Like.
All right. So since you guys have left the ruins, Hale, the growth that first formed on your scales, it seems to have mostly died off everywhere except on your right arm. From like the knuckles on that hand up to your elbow, there's still like a patch of it that seems to have grown a little bit worse.
Huh. I'll just try to scrape it off.
Okay, what are you going to use to do that?
Yeah, but that's a knife somewhere.
Knives.
I mean, I might. Is it? It's this fungus isn't magical, right?
Not so far as you know.
I might be able to dispose of it.
I mean, I kind of
Seeing
have
as how we're
claws.
hanging around here for a day, I don't think it's that too big of an issue with the spell.
I mean, Hale kind of has claws, so it'll just like try and scratch it off.
All right, if you want to do that, why don't you make a medicine check?
Yes, medicine. My medicine is actually not bad. It's not good.
We'll see.
It's a 16.
So yeah, you rake your claws down your forearm and kind of pick underneath your scales a little bit, and you got a good like glob of it off into your hand. It seems like you've gotten it like mostly off, but you can see that there's still some like spore growth around some of the scales. That's just kind of too hard to get off. It seems to have almost solidified on there.
Yeah, I guess we should find out more about it. I mean, if anything, it probably just needs a thorough washing. I'll run it under a cold tap.
Could be that simple.
Let's hope it's that simple. I'm going to apologize now in case you hear that sound of me clearing my throat a lot. Allergies are being a bitch.
It's fine. So you guys are going to see Rena?
Yeah.
Might as well.
All right, so you guys head back over into the quarantine zone, and you find her, as always, tending to people. And she'll greet you, and what can I do for you?
I guess I got a bit of that fungus on me. I got some kind of fungus on me.
She looks concerned and holds her hand out. Let me see.
And then hand her his arm.
So she'll begin to inspect your arm, and she actually like carefully lifts the scales up a little bit to look at the flesh underneath. This looks different from the others.
Oh.
Oh, well, as long as it's different, I guess.
Do you have any idea of whether or not it's benign?
She kind of looks a little more, and she'll check up your arm to where like there was some before that seems to have gone away, and it doesn't seem to be spreading like the other infection does. It seems to have been contained here on your arm. I
mean, it's not hurting.
What was that?
It's not hurting or anything. It's just,
She kind of
kind of clashes.
She kind of gives you a smile. I don't know. Green goes rather well with purple. It doesn't seem to be spreading, and I should think it won't. Give yourself a thorough scrubbing and keep an eye on it. As of now, I can't tell you much more than that.
Will do.
Well, at least it's not going to. It doesn't look like it's going to consume him, so.
That's good then.
Yeah, she nods. It's definitely not the same. It won't turn you into a vegetable like these people.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Sounds like another problem for another day.
Do keep an eye on it.
Precisely.
Yes.
And if it gets worse, seek a cleric.
I'm a cleric.
You're not a cleric, you're a
Then
ranger.
why can't you heal yourself?
He's pointing to tell you.
I'm not as well trained as a cleric. I can do what I can. I do have some blessings, but not as well prepared.
No, all right.
She went to Sunday school, but she's not very religious.
She knows the prayers. She just doesn't believe in them.
I think I told you. I just need to scrub it off a bit.
Yes,
I haven't had time yet.
and we're going to check it again tomorrow morning before we gather up our stuff and start going. You see Tiala just kind of like, how tall is Hale?
He's probably almost 7 feet tall. He's a big boy.
Yeah, so there is Tiala is like, I think I have her at like 5 something. Yeah, she's 5'7", so she's just kind of looking up and giving you this like stern, like she's your mother pointing at you like, we're doing this and you don't get a say in the matter.
He's completely oblivious to that.
She grabs him by his chin and pulls him down. You're letting me look at it in the morning.
I mean, if you want to, I mean, it's not like I hide my arm.
Thank you, Rena.
Yes, thank you so much.
She'll nod.
Anything else anyone wants to look into?
I wonder if they could do something about my armor being so noisy.
Maybe.
We should go find out.
So there are no dedicated armorers in this town. There's obviously there's the blacksmith and there's the merchant who sells armor who might have some ideas about it.
Yeah, hell, go talk to him.
He can give us a reference at least.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So what kind of armor do you have?
I have. I think.
Luna, I just saw your pun.
I have scale mail.
It is scale mail. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was. That's are you going to the?
Yes, I am.
All right, so you go and there's this pretty stereotypical big beefy dwarf with a long black beard standing there. He kind of looks up as you approach and gestures around at his wares. How can I help you?
Yes. So, as you're probably aware, this armor is rather noisy.
He kind of eyes your armor up and down. He goes, typical scale mail.
Yeah. They have something that probably offers about the same level of protection. It might not be as obvious that I'm there.
He kind of scratches his beard and regards you. I don't got anything in stock like that, but I could maybe modify yours.
Oh, that'd be most appreciated.
So he'll turn around and he starts rummaging in a big trunk that's behind him. And he pulls out what looks like a suit of armor that is made of like a felt-like material. And goes, this should work. Give your scales a nice felt lining, and I should be able to muffle them down.
Oh, thank you so much. How much would that cost, and how long do you think it would take?
Well, it'll be the cost of this armor that I'm going to lose doing the job, and my labor. He kind of weighs the suit in one hand as he thinks. We'll call it 40 gold.
40 gold? More than fair.
And the time frame?
Oh, it'll take me about a day.
Excellent.
Here's Tiala dies.
Yeah. Oh God, I hate allergies.
They suck. So yeah, if you...
He'll take off his armor.
Alright, so you take your armor off, you hand him over the gold, and he takes the armor, and he tells you to come back tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Now, let's hear it.
I'm wondering if I might be able to find some jewels or some magically inclined jewelry to keep me safer.
That's a good idea.
Not that I don't trust you, or Apollo, but
So you know, as all of you do, being residents of this world, that people who sell magic items are very uncommon. Like there are no magic shops in Ilthoria. You can ask around and try and find. If you want to do an investigation check, maybe you can figure out if there's somebody in byways that might have something you're looking for.
sure. With my less than stellar investigation check,
We'll help you. We'll help you.
that is a 7.
We'll all ask around.
Did you roll and beyond?
I did. It did not work for some reason.
Did not pop up.
Hold on. Let me just dip out and then dip back in with the VT. I'll do it this way. Okay. Let's try it off of this. Hold on. See if this works.
Yeah, I saw that.
There we go. That one came through.
It was worse, but
That's fine. What was your first roll?
7.
7.
I was not much it was not much worse, but it was still
So
worse.
yeah, asking around at the byway, nobody seems to have any clue where you could find something like magical jewelry. And a few people
Well,
give
that
you
is
kind of funny
unfortunate.
looks for even asking.
It never hurts to try.
The people just looked at her when she asked, like, you know where you are, right?
Pretty much, but
Well, most of them look at you like, why would somebody sell something like that if they had it?
money. Like, why would you sell it? The same reason you sell anything. Money.
Right, but generally you wouldn't sell in
I
Ilthoria.
know.
Generally, you wouldn't sell something like that just in the marketplace. That's a very specialty good.
Yeah.
You'd go to like a I guess like the equivalent would be like a private seller or something.
Yeah,
something to find
yeah,
it.
exactly.
We'd have to be back in Helvar or in the capital.
You'd
or maybe
probably
in
be
the
more
elf
likely
slum.
to find somebody there, but again, it's not guaranteed because
Yeah.
magic items are not as ubiquitous here as they are in some other settings.
Maybe there's like a collector somewhere in the area, but
Damn, then that makes me wonder how much that green candle we have is worth. Sorry, that's just where my mind went. I was just like, wait a minute.
I mean, you have the option of trying to sell it if you wanted to.
No, I think we still can use that because if I remember correctly,
that thing may save our life at some point.
yeah, gaining an extra 2d6 hit points if it's burned during a short rest. Not that we have ever actually taken a short rest.
That's true. You guys tend to go straight for the long rest, which is fine. I mean, most of
I
the
mean,
time.
it's not like we have a warlock, so
Well, there's that, and you guys haven't encountered anything that have made it be like, well, we can't just stop and take a long rest. We gotta keep going.
yeah. Well, I don't really have anything else in mind.
Is there anywhere else you want to go? Maybe we should get a room for the night.
Think it's mostly just tents out here.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, this isn't as
There are
far
a
as
few-
I was aware.
There are a few permanent structures here. One of which is a place called the Double Head, which is it's this big. It's a single story building, but it's like a big wide. There. Words, they work. It's a big wide building made of stone and wood, and you have heard while being in town that this is kind of like the gathering. This is the tavern gathering spot. It's mostly kind of a mead hall, drinking, eating stuff. But you've heard that they have some like cots in common room that they rent out.
There we go.
Well,
Yeah, I could go for a drink.
I could go for a drink as
too.
well.
I think food sounds wonderful.
Something other than like dried meat and fruit.
Rations. Never survived on them before. Definitely not the hype.
No, they're not. Let's get something home cooked then.
Well, yeah, you head inside, and it's pretty much what you would expect. It's this big, like I said, it's mostly a mead hall. It's like this big, long, wide room, big, long tables. There's some chandeliers made of various like kind of patched together. Some of them are like made of deer antlers. Some of them are metal. Some of them seem to be made of like wood. Same thing with the tables and everything. Everything kind of seems like patched together and cobbled together, like they just kind of took whatever they could find to put this place together. There's a big bar. It's not really a bar. It's like a row of barrels with a piece of wood put on top of them, and some big keg barrels behind it. And it's rowdy in here. There's all sorts. There's travelers and merchants and mercenaries and just all sorts in here drinking and eating. And you can smell there's like big pots on this bit. There's a big fireplace and there's big iron pots bubbling away on top of them. Looks like mostly what they serve here is like stew. And there's more than a few. There's two burly men that seem to be in charge of selling the drinks, and then there's a few other younger folk, men and women, bustling around from table to table and person to person, either taking orders or delivering them.
Oops, now we found a seat.
Yeah, I
Get
guess we
something
find a
to
seat.
eat. Nope.
Yeah, it seems like it's just sit where you want. Nobody seems to really be paying much attention to you.
Alright.
I'll go and find a table in a corner of the room, if there are any.
Follow.
Yeah, there's a lot of you might have to steal some chairs from some other tables that aren't occupied, but you can easily find yourself a place wherever you want in this place.
Alright. Yeah, let's get comfortable and try and wave one of these servers over.
So yeah, you catch the eye of what looks to be maybe a 14-year-old boy who kind of holds up a hand real quick and runs over to another table and puts a big mug down in front of a half orc and then runs back over to your table. And, what can I get for you?
For me, some of your stew and a cup of whatever that half orc is having.
So he kind of looks back at the half orc that he just served. He goes, "You want black gut?"
Yeah, sure, I'll try that.
He kind of gives a little shrug. All right.
I'll have some stew and a nice ale.
I'll also take an ale and whatever lovely food's simmering in those pots.
Some stew and I don't suppose you just have some water.
He kind of gives you a
See,
funny.
all over.
He gives you a funny look and goes, "Oh, I think I have some."
That'll do. I still remember the last time I tried ale, and let's just say I did not enjoy it. Remembering back in Helvara.
I'm about to try some, what was it, rock gut?
Black gut.
Black gut.
That's slightly better, isn't it?
It sounds like something that would turn my insides out.
So when you're all done your orders, the kid scampers off to go retrieve them.
Well, once everyone's things are finished, are we making our way into the Highlands?
That is the plan. Do you know about how much farther we have to travel to get there?
The elves of the Highlands have been keeping to themselves, so I don't know too much. They are still our best bet rather than just going in and picking fights with anything that moves in the, oh my gosh, the swamp.
Right.
The Blight Marsh. There we go.
The swamp.
I couldn't remember what it was named. And it's really hard to see on the freaking map.
The Blight Marsh.
I wonder if they know anything about that orb we found at the farmhouse.
Maybe.
They could very well, yeah. Best we can do is ask, though.
Hmm.
Then again, we haven't really tried messing with it on our own yet.
I mean, we poured magic into it, and it was like a drop in a bucket. Or more like a drop in the ocean.
That's true.
If it needs as much magic as it feels like, it might be something akin to gods.
Good.
Or it's a weapon.
I would hope not. Fueling a weapon would rather be... Well, that's just terrifying to think that we were pouring energy into a weapon.
You never know, though. Especially with some weird black orb we just randomly found.
Randomly gifted by a child that found it. Child's ghost at that fact.
I was gonna say, Child's Ghost.
That's still crazy.
I try not to think about it. I just still remember like when I ran up to that house thinking like, oh, I'm gonna save them.
And then nobody was there.
No one was there. It took me forever to catch on.
I still just feel horrible we couldn't save them.
Yeah, same.
We were just too late.
Maybe, but my family's supposed to look out for these people. Just feels like... I don't know.
You can't really, put that on yourself, though. Or your family. Like, this kind of came out... This whole thing came out of nowhere, really. Like, if like, nobody was obviously prepared for this, like, takeover. So, like...
And who knows what's going on in the capital?
Exactly. But you are, like, taking care of these people, because you're trying to take care of it now. So...
He's right.
Well, the sooner we can get things back under wraps, the sooner things can get better. I guess.
Exactly.
So while you're all sitting there waiting for your food, you notice a man, a human man, thin, gangly-looking guy, obviously very drunk from the way he's stumbling around, kind of headed toward your table. But his focus seems to be on like another table past you, and as he passes, he kind of bumps into the back of Jahan's chair and kind of almost falls on top of him a little bit.
Jahan's just like, oh!
Why don't you all make a quick perception check for me?
Yeah.
Natural 20
I got
for a
10.
23.
Come on. Oh my
I got
god.
a 21.
Well, that makes sense.
John was too busy seeing, this is table. Yes.
Well, I mean, he is the one who had this guy kind of...
Yeah.
Just bump into him.
He was the mark.
So, ironically enough, Jahan is... Well, I guess Hale didn't see either. Allium and Tiala, you both see this man's hand kind of slip into Shahan's belt for a moment, kind of down toward where maybe his money pouch is hanging, and then pull back. He doesn't look like he has anything in that hand when it's pulled back out, and then he kind of slips off of Jahan and stumbles on his way, kind of disappears into the crowd of people.
Jahan, check your pockets.
Jahan frantically grabs for his pouch and looks inside of the pouch.
Yeah, so you find your money pouch right where it's supposed to be. Doesn't look like any money was taken.
Was anything else taken from me that I might not notice?
Hang on one second. There you are. So searching around yourself, looking for is anything missing? Did he grab anything? You actually find something you didn't have before. There is a folded up piece of paper stuffed into your belt.
Oh. He pulls out the piece of paper and just holds it up to the group. I didn't have this before.
He gave you.
Check your DMs.
I'm gonna go ahead and open it up. Didn't even see that. Let me see this file, damn it.
Uh-oh. I mean, I could just post it in the messages if it won't come through.
No, I got it. It was
You
just
got it?
downloaded.
Okay, good.
I'm just gonna go ahead and read it out then. Little Newt, interesting company you've found. The alabaster door could prove useful. Keep her close, we need her.
It's her.
Alabaster? Isn't that a shade of white?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yay, referring to me.
Well,
Maybe.
it said the alabaster door might be helpful.
Keep
Yeah,
her
he said-
close.
He said door.
The alabaster door might be helpful. I'll look around. Are there any alabaster doors in the
True.
building we're in?
Why don't you make a perception check?
Oh boy.
Jahan's gonna put this note back for
New.
later.
Oh, come on. 17?
From what you can see, there doesn't seem to be any alabaster doors around now.
What was the full message again? I like that he referred to him as a newt. I remember that, but that's about all I remember besides alabaster door.
You know, I might have just misread the note. Hold on. He pulls it back out. He says, okay. Little Newt, interesting company. You've found the alabaster. Okay. He didn't say door. He said door.
Alabaster
Could prove
doll?
useful.
Doll?
Yes, door. Keep her close should we need her. Even more interesting that you have found yourself the wayward scion of Baelstrom.
Baelstrom. Do we know anything about that?
I do.
Oh, is that...
Let me check my notes.
Yes, that is your last name.
My last name is Goldgren.
Well, that's your house name. At least that's the
Yeah.
one you gave me.
Yeah. No, that's my house actually.
So, someone knows about you?
If someone knows about you, well, I mean,
What?
that's a bit more clear. Someone knows about Jahan here.
Calling him a newt means that knows of your lineage. That's very unsettling.
Is the guy still in the place?
He dipped
I mean,
out.
he disappeared into the
If you would
crowd. We
like, you
might
can
be
make a
able to see if
perception
he's
check and see if you can spot him in the crowd.
Yeah, I will do this too.
Yeah, I think we're all on the point with this.
Woo! I got a
Nat 1. From the nat 20 to the nat 1. Let's go.
So, Allium, you kind of buzz up toward the ceiling and peer around. You don't see any sign of him anywhere in this place.
I fly back down. Guys, I think he left.
Of course he did.
Can I go to the door and, like, go step outside the door and, like, look in
Yeah,
the
sure.
street both ways? If I
Yeah,
see him?
you can take a quick flit outside and make another perception check around, see if he's still nearby.
Ooh, 13?
No, you don't see him.
Come back in. I don't see him anywhere, guys.
That's disheartening, but you know, it was quick.
But it does mean that we're being watched.
Yes.
That's true.
Not good. I don't like the tone of the message. Really, not in regards to you. Not in regards to them thinking you could be useful for something, like, because that seems nefarious.
It could
I
be
mean-
nefarious.
It could be. It could also just be politics.
Maybe
They're
we should
known
just.
for. They're not exactly pleasant.
To be fair, you know, how often are politics not nefarious?
Touche, touche.
Is there a way that you can post it in the general chat? We can, like, read it
And that's up to
over
Luna.
again? That's what I was asking, sorry. Luna, do you mind? Oh. Heard it? Did we lose someone?
No, he's still
No,
here.
everyone's still here.
Oh, sorry. I'm
Unless
just
he
used to
stepped
seeing
away.
5
He
people.
might have stepped away for a minute and just didn't tell us.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm used to seeing 5 people, so when I only saw...
No, it's only 4 because Fuji's not here
Yeah.
today.
Yep.
Yeah, Apollo's not here to punch the guy that knocked over John.
Right? Just chase him down, tackle him.
Yeah,
I will
tackle him,
say,
drag him back like, hey, wait a minute.
When I thought you got robbed, I was ready to throw hands. I was like,
Oh, we all were. I was like, I was already prepped, like, nope, teleport your ass right back here, mother.
Yep.
Get
you
your,
to steal from us again.
just teleport him into the air right above the table. Now then.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry.
No, you're good.
You're good.
Right,
I was
I'm just
wondering
gonna-
if you were okay with posting it in the general chat so that we could all, like, reread it.
Yeah, I can do that.
Well, stick it in the player handouts. I think.
Alright.
Yeah.
I think permissions will let you do that.
Yeah.
If not,
Yeah, we can post them there.
I just copied the whole text from it. I'm just gonna
Oh,
put
there you
that
go.
in.
Yeah, that works.
That works wonders.
Right claw.
Also, Prue's looking for closer. We need her even more to learn we have him. Coming from Arma. Why do they not want us to get why do they not want the wood singers involved?
Who are your masters?
Hey, agent. Who's Wraithclaw?
Where are our drinks? Where's our food?
So yeah, at this point,
John's
the
just
kid
like,
returns with your drinks and starts putting them down on the tables in front of everybody, and your food as well. He quietly asks for five gold pieces to cover everything.
Hell,
Uh,
will give them the
J- J- Jahan will
Just
stop
staring
Hale.
Jahan down.
Jahan will stop Hale from giving the money and will instead give 5 gold in his place. Let me take that money out.
Now, okay, so technically, Jahan has not shown us the full Jahan didn't actually show us the letter, right?
Yes. Well,
I'm doing this I'm asking this out of character because if he hasn't shown us the letter, we would not. I doubt Jahan actually get because Jahan never quoted the last bit either.
yeah.
So,
So I guess yeah, it would be.
so
up to
that's important. So Jahan did not
Jahan
actually
to
give us
show
the
it.
letter, right? He's holding it himself still. Luna.
Yeah. I'm
So
still...
we only know the first half of that.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
I think Luna's
I had
trying
to
not
ask
to
that because
pass
that's
out.
kind of important for RP purposes.
I mean, I guess we could say that because I posted in the handout to be kind of like just him putting it out clear to see. I mean, Hale kind of did just acknowledge the last part of it.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was working on the assumption that me posting it was me just kind of saying, okay, it's just clear to be read.
Okay.
All right, well that works then.
I just wanted to make sure because I don't want to have a technology thing end up being, oh well, we just spoiled a bunch of shit for your character.
No,
So back to my question. Who the hell are your masters?
Jahan is just gonna take a bit of a drink of his ale before he answers. He's very clearly like not sure how to explain this. Mainly because he also just feels like an idiot because it was very clearly not something he was supposed to read.
Something he wasn't supposed to share with the group.
Yeah. But this is also in character for him. He is very stupid.
This is why Hale and Jahan get along so well.
Yeah.
We're both kind of dumb.
Why do we have to be the parents, Alio?
I don't know. It always seems that way. Can I do an insight check on Jahan and see if he's not wanting to tell us because he's worried it'll come across wrong, or if it's because he's got like darker intentions? Does that make sense?
Hey.
Hold on one second. I mean,
They're just trying to discern the reason for his hesitation to tell.
I'll be perfectly honest. His hesitation is because we're kind of going back and forth here.
That is part of it, yeah. I'm also thinking of how he would word this.
Makes sense.
Well, to answer your question, Hale, I work for House Zavarax.
Hale, you know that name.
Yes. Which house is that?
You have the handout thing I gave you, don't you?
Yeah. Let me find it.
I was like, please tell me we're just committing to him forgetting this important information, because that
I
is
mean,
such a
it
way
wouldn't
off
be
the
completely
fucking
out of
shoulder.
character for him, so...
He's like, yes. Who are they again?
Right. Damn.
I knew completely all along. Of course.
Oh,
House
good.
Avrak, those people.
Those people.
That house with the name that starts with an X and
I
ends
totally
with
know.
another X.
Let me try and find that handout.
It's... Yeah, you just have to scroll up in your private messages, and it's all written out there for you.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for your. There's an easy way to do this. There we go. Da, da, da.
Sorry. I was pinning something. I was like, oh, I should probably keep that pinned so that way I have that.
Yeah, and anything, either like save it somewhere else or pin it or anything
Yeah.
I've sent you like privately.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know. I personally don't know which great house it is. Like, I don't know what like kind of dragonborn or whatever it is what I'm trying to like figure out.
I mean, that's pretty much all you know about them.
Other than that, they're just one of the 9 great houses.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yes, they're one of the greater houses. Probably bastards, honestly. I don't know.
All I can tell you is that I'm really only here because the people I work for are very curious about how things are in the outside world, basically everything. And they pay me to just go around, see how things are going for all the different kingdoms and how people are handling their shit, and just tell them about it.
And that doesn't answer why they don't want the wood singers to get involved.
That I can't tell you.
You can't tell us because you don't know, or you can't tell us because you don't want to tell us.
I was about to. You don't know.
I'm gonna give. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He probably doesn't know. He probably won't tell him.
I mean, look, would I have read this out loud if I had any ill intentions?
Probably not. Could also be an elaborate ruse, but I don't like the fact that you're...
His face. It's impossible for him to go into an elaborate ruse.
Ah, see, but that's what he wants you to think.
I have 2 issues so far right now, Jahan. 1, the fact that your people call me a doll is rather unsettling. And the second, that they seem to be potentially looking at blackmailing Hale's father.
They can go right ahead. My fault is an ass.
Well, do you intend to follow through with these instructions?
I mean, I don't really want to go through with them. I do want to help these people. But I'm also thinking that, for all we know, these people won't even be a good lead to begin with. I'm going to help your people out. They need it. But also, I don't know. They may very well not be good for helping us reclaim any of this.
But at least it's a direction to at least look into.
Yes.
All I'll say is that while I don't know what the hell their intentions are, I don't know anything about what they know. But if my people are telling me not to let them reclaim the land, I can only assume there's some reason for it. Not saying I agree with it. It could be ill intentions. They could have their own interests at play. but there might be other reasons why the wood singers aren't a good idea. Which is why we should go and see why not, or why they are.
Yes.
Well,
Do you know the name? It's at the bottom of the note.
I don't know him personally, but I have heard of him, and he is not someone to be messed with. So, I would say we should heed the words that he's giving me personally. If he thinks they're not a good idea, we should tread carefully with them. But if they are a good idea, if they are helpful, then we go from there. And that's probably the smartest thing Jahan's ever said.
I understand it is a
our only
cross
real...
that bridge when we get that type of situation.
Mm,
Or burn that bridge type situation, depending on what we find out.
I mean, the wood singers have kind of kept to themselves for a while. So there's no guarantee they'll even consider helping us in the first place. They could
Still-
demand quite a bit.
And still, that is why we're going there.
Luna, I couldn't hear what you just said.
Shit, my mic moved away. I said, well, still, that is why we're going there.
To at least see if they'd be willing to consider it.
Yes. And if the price is too high, we can tell them to kick bricks, as the saying goes.
That is, if they'll let us leave at that point.
I will burn an elf town to the ground if I have to.
I would rather not. But we can at least hear what they have to say in response to our request.
Agreed.
I especially don't want to be doing any burning, because we all know it's not going to be Hale doing the burning.
Look, I can burn things. I have.
Be
I have
honest with
things to
me,
start
were
a
you...
fire.
Be honest with me, were you going to go around torching every hut, or were you going to ask me to just burn it all? And save yourself some time.
Little column A, little column B.
Tiala's just gonna kind of, after recovering, just go start just going at her soup for a little bit, just kind of like, I don't know what to do with these two. You two are a pair of lovable oafs.
That's how I got by through most of my life, actually.
Definitely keep things interesting, that's for sure.
Indeed.
You should have seen me when I was younger. I was way more in trouble.
I don't doubt it.
Jahan clearly failed upward in his line of work.
Alright, well, now that that's all settled, we should eat, we should enjoy our drink, and we should plan for what's next.
And keep our eyes out.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wonder if we might try to find that guy and see if he can give us any more information.
To be fair, if that guy was any good at his job, which he clearly was, for the most part, he's probably long gone. I could try and track him, but, I mean...
That would take us away from our objective.
Exactly.
That's true.
And if he does hail from any Dragonborn company, he might have a way of flying away that we can't track him after a point.
Quite possibly.
Also
yeah.
very true.
No, just keep our eyes peeled for people continuing to follow us. Just in
Yeah.
case.
William will start keeping an eye open as we travel through the town.
That said, Hill's
And-
gonna start eating and drinking.
All right, so
I
you
think
guys.
my drinking-
What's
Go
that?
ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so you guys dig into your meals and your drink, and you while the night away, and a day or two passes. uneventfully, and then your goods that you ordered are complete. Hale, your armor has been lined in felt, which removes its stealth disadvantage.
Probably feels really good too.
Sure. Jahan,
Has
when
his
you...
fungus progressed at all? Because
Oh yeah.
TL is keeping him bad.
Tiala, if you want to make a medicine check to take a look at his arm.
Please, Dice, don't be a dick. Like, you have been non-stop fluctuating this evening. Please don't be messing with me. What the fuck?
So yeah, you kind of do the same thing Rena did, and you lift up the scales and you take a look at the flesh underneath, and it looks like there are like mycelium roots starting to kind of go into his flesh. The moss itself on the surface hasn't gotten any worse, but it looks like it's kind of growing down into his arm.
Does the fungus seem like it is magical by nature?
No.
I am going to cast Wither and Bloom on it.
Okay.
It basically just causes it to wither away. Non-magical vegetation. Just kind of like keep that on. Just chase that to just kill it off, and just be
Alright.
like,
So you cast your spell and you watch as it all just seems to rot and wither and kind of come off.
and then just clean his scales out and just
Yeah,
be like, let's.
You clean it and it seems like you got it all off, and there doesn't seem to be any traces of it left.
We're gonna keep an eye on this, okay? I don't trust it.
Jahan, when you return to the blacksmith, he hands you a solid metal staff with a mattock on the bottom.
Ooh.
Dude, that's a clear upgrade right there.
Yeah. I grab that shit and I swing it around a little bit, and then I just hold it.
Yep, so it functions the same as a quarterstaff, or you could use it as a war pick.
Some.
You now have 2 melee weapons.
I am now as effective as I was before.
And it will function, obviously, the same as your old staff in terms of magic.
Yeah, it can still be used as a focus and everything.
Yep.
Awesome. I'm happy
Allian,
with this.
you are also returned your armor now with find studs throughout the armor that are each one is actually shaped like a little leaf.
That's adorable. Thank you so much.
He beams. He seems very happy to have pleased you.
I like put it on super fast because I'm just so excited to wear it around and show people.
Looks really good.
I know. Look, they're little leaves. The detail's amazing.
Yep, so you now have
Indeed.
studded leather armor.
Awesome.
And now, to the wood singers.
That was a really...
Sorry, I was just like,
I see you shudder in anticipation.
We really did kind of poison the well too for the wood singers last night. We were just like, this is gonna be rough.
All right,
well,
so
now there's just more anticipation and more, tension involved. Why is there somebody not interested in us not getting them involved? Are they supporting the hobgoblins? Do they just not want the wood singers for reasons?
So-
There's too much to know.
Allium can tell you that more than likely they're not supporting the hobgoblin mercenaries. Like, that seems extremely unlikely.
Yeah.
Well, at least that's one less thing to worry about.
I don't know, guys. I'm more tempted to trust the elves than some random stranger. I mean, I've lived with elves my entire life. I was adopted. I was raised
Oh.
by elves.
I
So,
don't. I wasn't talking about the elf supporting them. I was talking about how the Jahan's house supporting the hobgoblins, and is that why they don't want us to get the Woodsinger support?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, for all we know, maybe there is some kind of like proxy thing going on with the Wood Singers. We don't know. Maybe we'll go
Nope.
there and find out. But
For now, let's go.
I doubt they're helping the hobgoblins, though, especially if they keep to themselves.
Yeah.
Well, we will have to see.
All right, so if you guys are all done in the byways, you can head out.
All right, heading out.
All right, so you head out. You're headed kind of northeast. You can actually see as you're walking where the forest near the road kind of starts to shift, and you can tell it goes from being this green, lush forest to a forest that seems to be gripped in autumn, even though it is not the autumn season. After a little while, you see that you're going to have to veer off the road if you want to head toward Woodsinger territory, from what you know. And as you walk into these woods, you almost feel this ethereal kind of feeling of disconnection from the material plane. It's like you're walking through a veil.
That's weird.
Thus,
And after
the name Valewood Highlands.
Yeah, well, it's there's almost this like physical. It's not actually physical, but it feels like there's this gauzy curtain you kind of pass through where these woods go from seeming like normal woods, kind of gripped in autumn, to this ethereal hype. Like the colors become sharper and more vibrant, and the light becomes like brighter and cleaner. And there's just this palpable magic in the air as you walk deeper into these woods.
Is it similar to that of walking into Tel Kashar?
Yes, in fact, Allium feels almost too much at home here. Like it's like she has returned to the heart of Tel Kashar.
This far?
My mind went somewhere else. I was like, so it sounds like doing acid. Got it.
So it's like we almost stepped into the Feywilds.
Exactly.
That's
It's a palpable feeling in the air.
Tiala's just kind of like feeling the magic herself. She's kind of like feeling something that like is similar to what woke up. She's just kind of like she's kind of like reaching out as if she's like grasping at something that's not there. She's trying to like grasp the magic. Like, oh,
Yeah, can we feel the magic as magic users?
I mean, why don't you make Arcana checks for me?
oh boy, one of the things I'm not good at.
Allium kind of just takes a deep breath, and you can see her sort of starting to relax. No, this feels so much like home.
So you both feel there is definitely a palpable aura of magic here, but it is not the magic you're used to. This is not material plane magic. This is fey magic that permeates this place. And as you move deeper into the Valewood, it's almost as if the world itself is slowly locked into an eternal sunset. It's as if time is not moving forward at all here. You see fireflies flitting about the branches above you, these brilliant crimson, burnt orange leaves just fluttering in a breeze that never seems to end, just this gentle breeze that blows across you. And as you are sort of taking in these sights and enjoying this departure from what you're so used to, small figure kind of detaches itself from one of the branches, and you thought it was a leaf at first, and then he flies down, and you recognize him, since you travel with one, as a fairy. And he alights, he kind of hovers in front of you, blocking your path, and he goes, "Halt! Who are you that enter this wood?"
I am Tiala Harkin, and this are my traveling companions, Allium, Hale, and Jahan. She kind of motions.
So you immediately notice that he is not looking at you at all. He is staring straight at Allium. It's as if he's talking only to her.
Looks to Allium.
We were just traveling. We wanted to talk to the elves. Hang on.
Wood singers.
Wood singers, thank you. The wood singer elves. My name is Allium. This is my party. We've got Jahan here, Tiala, as she introduced herself, and Hale, as well as. Oh shoot, who's not here tonight?
Apollo.
Apollo, yeah.
So because he's not here, we're going to assume that he kind of hung back.
Gotcha. Okay.
He's just
Sounds
partying
good.
at the.
But I
He's just
point
partying.
to the.
He's at the rear of the party, just kind of like nods to the, just kind of like nodding and just like, you guys do your thing.
Yeah, he said he'd catch up later, is what he said.
I'll kind of bow my head to him a little bit. It's nice to meet you.
You bring outsiders into this sacred wood.
I know, I'm sorry. I didn't understand that. I'm new to the island. I actually come from Tel Kashar. So
Why should
this
I
is my
let you
first-
pass?
We just wish to talk to the wood singer elves to ask if they wouldn't mind lending us some help in trying to take back this island from the hobgoblins. I know y'all keep to yourselves. I completely understand where I'm from. We do the same.
So he kind of squints his eyes and regards each of you. I suppose I could let you pass. Could you maybe give me a hand with something first?
What do you need a hand with?
Yes or no?
You and I both know that it's never good to agree to a deal without understanding the full details of what we're agreeing to.
It's a simple request. I just ask for a hand with something first.
We can help you with something.
He kind of grins at you. Clever. Well, far be it from me to stop you. He'll kind of go backwards. He looks at the rest of you and goes, "Listen to that one. The child of spring will save you." And he'll flit off into the trees.
He never even gave us his name.
Rather rude, wasn't he?
Unfortunately, that's pretty much what we're gonna face here. If this is anywhere like where I'm from, they definitely do keep to themselves, very much so. They don't like outsiders, and a lot of the times outsiders are not permitted into these woods, if they're anything like Telkashar.
Your word choice seemed to catch his attention.
Yes, Fae are very tricky beings. Your wording is very specific. When he said if he could have a hand with something, he could have very well meant a literal hand. So offering help, you may call me instead of just giving your name, things like that. You have to be very, very particular, and it's really never a good idea to enter into any kind of agreement with the Fae unless absolutely necessary. And when thoroughly looked through and words picked very carefully.
Well, that means negotiations are going to be more scrutinizing.
I hope it's all worth it. God.
Well, only one way to find out.
So you continue on through the woods now. As you head deeper, it becomes denser and a little more difficult to navigate. Why don't you make anybody who wants to can make a survival check to find their way, but I highly suggest either Hale or Allium do it. Allium, you get advantage on this roll.
Okay. And you said it's an investigation or a perception?
A survival.
Survival.
Survival, so I was totally wrong. Thanks.
I will cast guidance as well.
19.
16.
Oh, guidance.
then, yeah.
Leave me out of 4.
A D4.
A D4.
That's what I meant, not what I said. But I get to add a 4 anyway, so.
Nice.
So 23 on that survival.
So, Allium, this place feels so familiar to you. You're so... It's like you're back home again. You can feel the currents of Fey magic in this place. You know how the trees grow. And so you are able to guide the group through this forest until you come to this opening that it's like stepping through a curtain. As you step through the trees, you find yourself in this massive clearing where there's this big lake, and sprouting up from this lake are several islands with massive trees growing out of them, like unnaturally large trees. And each one of these appears to house almost a village.
I think we've made it, guys.
Yeah, and you very quickly realize that yes, indeed, you have made it to the heart of the Valewood.
Gotcha. How similar are these villages in the trees to where I grew up, my home?
It's all very, very similar. In fact,
Gotcha.
As you step through the trees onto the shore of this lake, you can see you see ships on the lake, or boats on the lake, that are very clearly of Fey design and Fey origin. You see fairies flitting about between the islands, between the trees, as well as pixies. There are nixies in the water. And you see elves moving about in the distance, up and down these ramps and along the branches and everything. And as you're standing there and taking in this grand sight of what seems to be almost a mirror copy of the heart of Tel Kishar, or at least a very close approximation, a ship comes up kind of close to you, close enough that you can see there are 2 Eladrin on board, dressed in fine gold and bronze armor. And as the ship approaches, another ferry, and it takes you a moment to realize it's the same one you saw earlier, flies up and comes toward you. Ah, I see you found your way here, daughter of spring.
It wasn't too difficult. This is so much like home.
I am so pleased to hear you say that. Now then, I will take you to meet with our lord. And he kind of gestures toward the boat. And obviously you can fly over to the boat, and you see no way at all for the rest of your group to get on the boat without swimming.
Unfortunately, my friends are not as gifted with flight as I am. Is there a way to get the boat closer, or must they swim?
He kind of looks toward the group and looks back toward the boat. Can they not swim?
How far is the boat?
It's about 10 feet from shore.
Tiala's gonna kind of like gather that feeling she gets every time, the little bits of Fey energy that she has, and misty step onto the boat.
Sure.
Hale's just gonna pick Jahan up and fly over.
Just like,
Right, I forget that Hale can fly.
yeah. Jahan's the only one who has the problem.
Never mind.
All right.
the
So
only
the
one who
fairy
can't fly.
kind of smirks as you find your way over to the boat. Seems that problem is solved.
So it does.
I feels wonderful.
And he will kind of head back over to the boat, and the 2 Eladrin will adjust the sails, and they turn it, and they sail toward one of the large islands that has one of these massive trees. He will lead you up the ramps. Luckily there are because obviously there's non-flight capable people living here. There are ramps and bridges and such that lead you up to the tops of one of these trees. They bring you all the way up to what seems to be almost the very top boughs, and into this beautifully, it seems to have grown from the tree. Like this place was not built, this was grown and molded. Its branches woven together with a canopy of leaves as a roof. And there you were met by a figure. This is where I have to search through my folders for what I want. Sorry. At first, it looks like it might be an Eladrin, but you quickly realize that this is something more than that. The figure is tall. He has the pointed ears of an Eladrin, white hair. He wears a robe that seems to be made of leaves and grass and such in autumn colors, but it also looks it looks like something royalty would wear. It's like this very fine garment. And sprouting from his head are a pair of what appear to be deer antlers that also are just festooned with the colors of autumn. And as he turns to regard the group, Allium, you get this intense wave, this almost physical blow of fey magic kind of washes over you, and you realize immediately that this is an archfey.
I bow my head deeply.
Tiala's going to just do her formal maneuver that she's, trained with, just full curtsy to as low as she can get.
Jahan's just gonna stand there obliviously.
Hello.
Down! And Tiala just cries.
I'm gonna
Like, get down!
Oh, and Sylvan Hill actually say hello.
He regards the group. He kind of gaze lingers on Jahan for a minute, and then he'll look to Allium. Welcome, daughter of spring.
Thank you very much for welcoming us. I know you don't often.
It is true, we rarely allow outsiders within this grove. He turns to the rest of you and goes, Rise and be welcome in the court of autumn.
Thank you. Your welcome
You
is
know-
most gracious.
It looks really nice here. Autumn has always been one of my favorite seasons.
He'll just kind of nod. He turns back to Allium. So, daughter of spring, what brings you here?
Well, we wanted to talk to you about the hobgoblins that have taken over this island.
He immediately frowns. Ah, yes. I have heard something of what is happening beyond my woods.
I'm sure you and your kin are more than capable of defending yourselves, and I don't suspect that unless numbers were to grow exponentially that they will be much of an issue for y'all. However, for the rest of the island, it does seem to be taking quite the toll. My friend here, I'll point to Tiala, she actually lost her duchy and her father and was killed by the hobgoblins. All of the other towns that we know of have also been overrun by hobgoblins, and we were wondering if you might be willing to help us out, so we wanted to come and talk to you.
What happens beyond my woods is of little concern. No hobgoblin shall ever step foot in this grove. So what do I care of the human lands?
I understand. A lot of everyone that I'm used to typically being around feels the same as you. I haven't spent a terrible amount of time in the world, but I have been doing some exploring. And there is some good in the world that's worth saving. There are good people on this island that are worth saving, and unfortunately they just don't have the power to do it themselves as mere mortals. I
They-
understand that you don't feel it affects you at all. However, I think it would help your favor in the eyes of the rest of your island companions if you were to come out and help in their greatest time of need. They might, in turn, be willing to make trades with you or make help you out in some way in the future.
The people of this island are not of the courts. They offer
Correct.
nothing that we cannot gain ourselves through our own craft or through trade with the Feywild, which, as I'm sure you are aware, is now open to us once more. You ask
Yes.
a great deal of my court, but offer nothing in return. Why should I aid these people?
Well, that's where I would actually kind of give it over to my friend here. Um, I'm sorry, we haven't introduced ourselves. You may call me Allium. You may call her Tiala. And these two are Jahan and Hale. Um, she is to become the Duchess of her duchy. And she could potentially make some bargains, or if there's something she's willing to offer up as a payment of helping her get back her island. But that's for her to say, not me. I'm just here to help facilitate the talk.
He will turn his attention to Tiala.
Your Excellency, may I just take a moment? As someone who cares deeply for her people, to hear your level of indifference is difficult for me to comprehend.
What is difficult to comprehend? You are not of the courts.
I understand that. But when people with the power to help another fail to do so, it simply to me feels as a failure on their part to do what they can to better, well, the world. How can you maintain a proper balance in the world if you let the rest of it fall to chaos?
You seem to be laboring under the assumption that this world matters to us. This is not our world. Our world is beyond the veil, the Feywild, and even now we fight to reclaim it from the unseelie court. We are already engaged in a war. Why should I divide my troops and send them to your aid, and you offer me nothing?
Unfortunately, I do not have much to offer as of right now. I have lost my home. I have lost many of my people. And I do not have the authority to speak on behalf of the king of the king of my island. So I truly do not have anything to offer you.
Make a persuasion roll.
Ooh. That's a 10. The dice have forsaken me tonight.
He regards you silently for a moment. Do you know the last time my people deigned to trust yours?
No, I do not.
I am unsurprised. It was long before your time. Several decades passed. He turns his back to the group and folds his hands behind his back as he gazes up at the star, at the eternal sunset sky that surrounds this land. There was a wizard. He came to us in friendship and asked our aid in some research he was conducting. We benevolently granted him our aid. We established a keep for him. a place where he could conduct his studies and research unmolested by the troubles of the outside world. It was a place we called Evradel. And for a time, things were good. We had good relations with this wizard. We aided him, and in return, he granted us access to human magic. And then he turned on us. He betrayed our trust, delved into things we told him were forbidden within this wood, corrupted the world around him, and drove many of my subjects to madness. And do you know what has happened since?
Nothing.
Exactly. Your people did nothing when I petitioned them for aid. He dwells still in the same ruins of Evraldel. He is still there to this day with his corrupting magics and maddening experiments. Any of my people who venture too close disappear. He brings nothing but corruption and death. And now you come and ask me to aid the very land that spawned this abomination. Tell me, why should I aid you?
Firstly, thank you for sharing your story. I know that it must be painful beyond words to express, to retell something so tragic. Might I ask, where is Ivreldel? I have not ventured beyond this island, and the name does not... It is not within my recollection.
The ruins of Evradel are here within the Valewood.
That makes sense.
How far away?
Not far enough.
You say that your people can't are disappearing within the ruins.
That is correct. I have sent soldiers in attempts to clear the place. None return.
Apologies for interrupting, but we are not your people.
Are you
Maybe
offering...
we could correct the mistakes of the past.
You offer... what?
Maybe we might be able to remove the blight upon your beautiful forest.
And in return, you would ask my aid in your war.
Only as much aid as it is required to get ourselves started and able to defend ourselves. We were caught unaware. I would ask no more than that.
He turns back to regard you silently. Then he looks to Allium. What is your opinion of this land? You've traveled through it.
This land feels like my home. I'm from Telkashar. I grew up.
He'll hold a hand up
Amongst
to stop you.
elves.
Not the court. The land beyond. Are these people worth saving?
To be honest, some of them aren't. But there are so many who are. I've come across so many kind souls, and I've also come across some of the darkest evil amongst them. And I can't tell you for every single soul on this island that every single one of them is willing to be saved, but I can tell you that from what I have traveled with Tiala, she does. genuinely want to save her people and mean you and this land absolutely no harm.
Make a persuasion roll.
Anyone?
Very well. Clear the taint and corruption that still infects the ruins of Everdell, and I pledge a portion of my forces to your cause. Do we have a deal? And he'll extend his hand out toward Tiala.
Tialo kind of looks to Allium like. Allium kind of like.
Yeah. This is out of character. The only vagueness I can really decipher
Is the blight itself.
well, clear the blight, but also a portion of his forces. That could be 3 people. Or it could be 100.
Or could
And
be
he
that
says,
sassy.
"Of
Kind of looks to him.
It's broad enough that he could send you a person."
I do not mean any disrespect, but I am not as skilled in the magics of Fae or nature to completely cure the blight. I am able to remove the wizard who is causing it, but I may not be able to directly cure the blight itself. The second thing of our deal, a portion, is rather vague, if you don't mind me asking. King of Autumn, I presume.
Prince.
Prince of Autumn. Could we get more specific with an estimation of numbers to expect in assistance?
He smirks at you, and there is a genuine mirth behind it. You are a clever one.
I was taught very well by the daughter of spring that travels with me.
He'll turn and he lifts a champagne glass from a table nearby and takes a sip and turns back to you. Then I propose this. Remove the wizard, who is the source of the corruption within my realm, and I will pledge to you a regiment of my finest eagle riders.
William, what are Eagle Riders?
And John, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I know, it's a pretty elite legion of warriors. Like, Eagle Riders are considered some of the best warriors that we have in the Fae realm, right?
So it is Elf and Eladrin. Literally, they ride giant eagles.
Yeah.
They're skilled with bows. They're kind of the Fae cavalry.
Okay.
That would be excellent considering hobgoblins are on the ground right now.
Exactly.
This...
Go ahead.
No, you finish what you were saying.
At that, I'll kind of look to you, Tiala, and kind of give a nod of my head. Yeah, that's a well thought out, descriptive deal, and I would be okay with you taking that. That's what I'm trying to convey through
Prince of Autumn,
Okay.
I humbly accept this proposal.
He'll reach his hand out for you.
She'll take it gently and shake his hand.
Right? You grip his hand, and there is a warmth. And as you shake his hand, this spiral of blazing orange magical runes kind of encircle first his wrist and arm, and then yours, and then sink into your flesh, leaving a pale tattoo of that marking along your arm. The deal
Which,
is
for
struck,
my skin,
then.
looks actually dark.
Our deal is struck, then. Go.
We will remove the wizard.
Return to me when the wizard is dead, with proof that you have accomplished the task.
Very well.
His name was Galvus.
Can I do a history check to see if I recognize that name?
You sure can.
That's a nat 1. I have no fucking idea.
Oh,
You have
Christ.
never heard the name Galvus.
2 20s and 2 nat 1s in the same session. Let's go.
If Hale knows anything about Galvus from a distant land. 11.
You also have never heard the name Galvus.
I only got drunk with Galvus once.
Let me see. 'Cause if he was, oh my god, no, like none of us.
None of us know anything about Galvus.
Have I read of Galvus?
North Galvus.
No.
Nope.
Nope. Not one of us knows a thing.
None of you have ever heard the name Galvus before.
And
So-
you said that he was a human?
A human wizard.
He actually never said human.
Oh, he just said it right. He just said it was a wizard from our lands that came to them seeking refuge for his experiments. Well,
Well, I guess
Huh.
you're gonna be king to have an old man.
if it's anything, considering this has been a few decades, and he's as magically twisted as the prince has said, I highly doubt he's as old and frail as you're picturing, Hale.
I don't doubt he's not frail.
Tiala's kind of like rubbing her wrist. Well, thank you for your time, Prince of Autumn. We will be making our leave of your chamber.
He'll nod his head.
Kind of like motions for everyone. Tiala just kind of looks to Allium. Like, lead the way, please.
Allium
This
will bow
pressure
her
is
head.
suffocating.
Allium will bow her head at him. It was very nice to Autumn.
I'll give a little 2-finger wave and head out with the rest of them.
All right, he will turn his back as you exit his chamber.
Hale, I'm going to have, once this is all settled, we are getting you a lecture. You are getting a lesson on etiquette.
And with that, I think we're going to
I am
close the
born
session
of
here.
dragons.
All right. We're gonna close the session here before we go into the adventure because it's.
We
already
should have
closed.
Apollo for this, because holy crap.
All right, so yeah, that's where we'll call it for tonight.